This is my Let's Play for Fate of the World. I'm not going to go too in-depth on all this because I'm going to assume that people know basically what I'm doing. Also, to cut down on time. If you have any specific questions, you can ask in the comments. But I see a lot of them, they just go on for hours and hours and hours on a simple campaign, and I want this to be sort of quicker, so it takes up less of your time. So, alright, I'm gonna play Fuel Crisis, just because I like it. It's simple, and there aren't really a lot of Let's Plays for it to begin with, so start. Abacus, and I like your worship. Yeah, sounds good. Okay. This is what I picked up from Chizapath. I watched all of his videos, and it's helped me a lot. Get an agent in every region first off, and then work from there. Got 188 left over. Now, with Fuel Crisis, your first bet is going to have to be to reduce oil dependency everywhere that you can, just to avert a crisis just collapsing the whole economy. So you have to move quickly early game, or else you're never going to get anywhere late game. And that means tax, tax, tax. It might be scary, but you have to tax early, because you have a lot of places that have a lot of big problems they have to work with. Protect soil in Latin America and South Asia. They're the big rainforest producers. China is our biggest coal consumer. So, you know, we're not worried about coal shortages. Shortages are the big problem early on in Fuel Crisis, but we are worried about the massive emissions they're causing. So you go with coal-free industry and an energy office first off. Later on, we'll work on getting them off of everything. But for now, you just have to focus on critical areas. North Africa and the Middle East destabilize, and that destabilizes all the regions around them. Volatile stability, it spreads from region to region. So we have to nip that in the bud as fast as we can. Welfare offices, and since it's going to take some time, we'll go with political offices. We don't need a political office here just yet. We can hold off on that. India definitely needs a welfare office. Now, you have to do tech policy early. The way it works is tech points go by your GDP. 0.95 or higher, I think it is, gets 5 tech points per turn, and research programs give you an extra 7, and regions start off at a certain level on technology from the game start. Like how Japan is the tech leader in all of these. That means that they have the highest start year, which is like their base tech points in that technology. So if you start off researching right away, then you get the most out of it. You get +2 per turn. So what you do is you take the tech points and you subtract the year that they're at, and then you divide the remainder by 7, and that's how many turns it takes to get there. So you can cut it down by around 10 turns for like the latest late game technology, which is really, really helpful. So we get tech offices in Oceania, Japan, and North America, because they're the highest in every tech combined. So we have to get research going quickly. Advance, turn. I don't really care about the first news because I know what it is by now. Methane. Advanced drilling. We need that in the Middle East. The Middle East is gonna need to stay materials for a while so we can keep on expanding oil production. I'm losing support, but it's not a huge deal. Okay, I go, let's see what's most important for right now. Alright. Infotech I'm gonna go with. That's 25. Now this research has cost me a lot. I won't have as much to play with, but you have to get North America and Europe off of transport oil fast. They're both the top consumers. I'll show you here. Oil consumption, 7,800. 5,000 of their 7,800 is in transport. So getting rid of transport will get rid of almost all their energy, oil consumption. And it's basically the same in America. 7,300 of around 10,000 is in transport oil. So when you cut that down, you cut down almost all their oil usage. That leaves oil for the bigger, richer nations. The Chinese use it for equally in energy, so we have to cut that out too. Another good reason to cut down oil for energy in China is because when you start getting them off of coal for energy, they start massively expanding onto oil for energy unless you stop it. So decline coal power, and at the same time you decline oil power. It saves you money, and it saves you emissions, and it saves you oil. You want to get as much of the world onto gas as possible. Northern Africa. They haven't destabilized any worse. Job sharing. Whenever you see job sharing, do it. Same with educational enrollment. Whenever you see education, whenever you see job sharing, you have to do it. It means it's necessary. Same with emergency housing relief. That's definitely a problem that you have to get rid of really fast. And whenever they get to volatile, just go with troops. It's going to save you a lot of money if they kidnap an agent. That's an automatic 50 cost. Job sharing right away. Now, robotics is absolutely the top program to go for a few reasons. It gets your aerosols faster, first off. You need to use aerosols a lot. And it leads to desalination, which is important. You're going to need that in Northern Africa, the Middle East, China, and India. Guaranteed. Depending on the circumstances, sometimes Southern Africa. Okay. India's become unstable. So, move for a political office, just in case. I'm actually surprised Actually, yeah, I think Tobin Tech's is stalled by now. Biotech is the only thing Oceania is in tech leader position on, so that's what you go for. Yep, tax is stalled in Russia. They destabilized the first turn, so you have to get tax there right away so that you can make use of their tax. Okay, we've got some money left over, so we need to take care of Latin America and South Asia. They're both big oil consumers. See, and most of that comes from energy. It's sort of even. 2,400 from energy, 2,740 from transport. So I'm gonna go with transport policy early, because transport is a bigger consumer than energy is. Though energy is poised to grow more. And with South Asia, I'm going to go with an energy office. They're getting unstable now. I think I might hit them with the political office and okay. India is going to be a big point of concern. If you can develop them quickly, their population will go to dropping without you having to use a one-child policy. You can get them down to 300 million without one-childing them ever. And that's sort of the goal. You don't want to use one-child policy unless you have to, because it's a major drain of support. And, let's see. Northern Africa, I've got 75 left, so I can work on something here. What you desperately need is to work to get CCS up as soon as you can. Okay, and that's the end of this turn. I'm going to take a dip in support, but you have to do what you have to do. Smart grids. By the way, smart grids have no function. All they are is a stepping stone to the higher technologies. They don't do anything themselves. Okay, losing support as expected. I have to take tax off of Japan. Sorry, just checking that. But, let's see, with Russia, shit, provide security assistance. First off, I need to get a welfare office in here. Educational enrollment. That's the biggest way to stabilize them. See, job sharing as well. North Africa is held in that. With certain policies, like transport oil, energy transport, I mean, it depends on their development. They have to be more developed than they are here. They have to be richer here for it to really have any effect. Okay, they're not gonna like it, but I have to decline oil power here. Provide security assistance. That counterbalances it, basically. And I really have to do the same thing here. But I have to worry. Latin America can destabilize very quickly. Alright, I'm gonna go with an energy office. I have to get oil down as fast as possible. That's always going to be your #1 priority. Prepare for peak oil. Okay, see, in just this one turn, oil has gone down, which means all our declines to oil power are going straight onto gas, which is what we want. Gas is the most abundant fossil fuel. Now we get a tech office. You have to get CCS, as I said, as fast as possible. And I have to take the tax off of Japan, or they're gonna ban me. And I'll get Environmental Protection Office here. May as well in Oceania. And Europe. I just want to keep support up in North America and Europe because I desperately need their money. North America has a lot of problems with emissions. See, they use a lot of coal and a lot of oil. But that's a big change. It's down 25%, more than 25%, just because of our transport policy. See the effect it's had? Yeah, that's coming down nicely. Alright, and that's all we can do this turn. See, temperature at 2200 is gonna be at 6 degrees, which means everyone's gonna die by 2200 unless I just dramatically change everything. Alright, North Africa's gotten worse. I have to send in troops now. Support's going down and down and down. Let's see what they're having the worst problems with. Let's see, droughts. Okay. Austerity. Austerity, what that basically means is that they're upset that we're not doing enough to help their quality of life. So spending more money on them is basically what stops it.
Surrender or die! What the fuck you?
And we're gonna have to get cap and trade up eventually, but our top priority in Latin America, see they're unstable already. Decline oil power. Second top priority, keep them stable. And I know there's not much that can be done with a welfare office there. This is just political instability. And fund law enforcement to shore up stability there. And Russia is another big user of transport oil, so I'm going to get rid of that now. Anything to drop their costs. Japan is another huge consumer of transport energy. They're at right around 1200 in transport oil. Let's see. 900. Yeah, they started off around that. They've been dropping on their own. Huh. Well. Now. Go with defenses here. Drought defenses. just want to buy up support for later. Okay, India is stable now, which is good. Higher education and a tech office. Again, we have to get everything set up to get CCS out in the nations that are going to cause our highest emissions. That's going to be China, South Asia, Middle East, India, South Africa. They're going to be our top emitters from fossil fuels. So we have to roll out CCS fast. And last card. EPO. And roll out a tech office. Northern Africa is chaotic. Have to hurry here. I'm gonna give some more goodies to Europe and to North America to keep them on their good side. Alright. 2040. It's already been 4 turns. CCS. Great. CCS is gonna save you a lot. It takes a long time to develop, so the earlier you do it, the better it is. Shit. Support's holding in Europe, dropping in North America and Oceania. Doesn't matter right now. Acquire CCS. It's expensive, but it's worth it. Cool, they're off of oil. I just hope they haven't gone onto coal from that. I'll have to deal with that later. I forgot to get a tech office in Southern Africa. That'll take a little while to do up. I forgot to get a tech office here. Well, I didn't forget. I had a lot more problems to worry about. Transport efficiency. When transport efficiency shows up, that means that transport stress is high, basically. I don't do that everywhere, but I don't know. I guess it's just random how I decide to do it. They're gonna need an environmental protection office sooner rather than later. Shit, there's famine here. Housing. Yeah, see, India sucks up a lot of your money early game. That's why most people try to just let it collapse. But I don't like doing that. Energy office. Cool. Electric transport is done in North America. Welfare office. I'm just trying to keep up my taxing for as long as I possibly can. I tend to wait a little while to build coal-free industry and headquarters, just because there's so many more things I have to deal with right now. Energy office. Middle East needs an energy office soon as well. They have to start expanding oil production. See, they're unstable. They have a decent amount of oil. The water stress is fine. Industrial coal use. Industrial is practically all of it. Oh no, energy is rising in coal. Shit. If you nip this in the bud early, it only takes a few turns, which minimizes support loss and minimizes the cost of the card. You always decline oil and coal power at the same time to force it onto gas. Security assistance. Oh, this is just killing my budget. Emissions are rising. My guess, yeah, it went straight into coal. Okay. So, I'm gonna take care of that right now. Oceania hates me. I'm gonna have to take the tax off here. Alright. Not as much as I'd like to get done. I'm already almost at 2 degrees. Biofuels, 4th generation nuclear. You can use 4th generation nuclear as a stopgap in places with high energy demand. I usually don't, and I get by alright. Okay. Yeah. Declining power in Latin America is getting... It's really screwing with my support. I have to take the tax off North America now. Put on adapt to heat and floods. Medical welfare. Decline oil power. And I can't decline coal power at the same time. I need to grow support. Alright, coal power is done, so it's not going to jump up. Environmental Protection Office. More security assistance. That's what I said about Latin America destabilizing rapidly. Welfare Office. South Asia is going to need that soon. It's improving, so I'm not going to bother with it. Okay, now I'm going to start rolling out CCS. Decline coal power is done. Deploy CCS. Transport. Perfect. I'm gonna have to get on to cap and trade everywhere soon. I'm gonna need 2 agents here. Advanced drilling and CCS. Advanced drilling to help me expand oil production because we need as much oil as we possibly can. And Southern Africa, acquire CCS. Southern Africa, as soon as it develops, emissions spike. I've had them go up to almost 20,000. It was just insane. So you have to get this stuff out early. I can afford to tax them a little bit longer. Adaptation to heat and droughts. And Tobin tax is stalled here again. Let's see what's causing this. Alright, I'll just have to wait it out. But we've declined worldwide oil usage a lot. I don't think they have the stats for that. Oil production is mostly in North America, Latin America, and the Middle East. We're gonna start expanding the Middle East, I think. I'm going to spend the remaining money that I have left on buying support in Europe. And actually, I need to get a handle on water management early. Northern Africa and the Middle East, if you don't get their water stress under control, which means getting desalination as fast as you can, which is why I went to... See, uranium is already outpacing supply. I need to figure out who's using the most uranium and switch them to 4th generation reactors. Okay, emissions generally falling. They're rising in certain places, but they'll start falling a lot soon. Alright, that's 32 minutes, so I think I'm gonna stop